Hello world, my name is Jumanicus. I'm an intermediate game developer. Sanctum is a roguelike game run through a Discord server. To give you a quick idea of what the game is about, I'll give you a summary of the lore. You play as a crew member of the ship Genesis. The year was 2052 and the Earth was falling apart, so the forefathers constructed the Genesis in order to escape extinction. With nowhere to go, the ship crash-landed on Gameta 6, nicknamed Menesis. The crew survived, but upon trekking across the planet in search of hospitable lands, many died from the habitat, as well as nasty creatures known as Ravagers. The crew finally found solace in a place called Sanctum, and here they have lived since. In the game, there are 3 factions devised from the crew of the Genesis. Obsidian Technologies was a megacorporation. They funded the construction and expedition research of the Genesis. Genesis Command was the crew of the Genesis. They knew how to fly the ship as well as how to command those aboard. The Hand became a religious order during the journey. They believe they are the anointed leaders of the expedition, and are dedicated to the merging of humankind and machinekind. There are several characters that can be interacted with in the game. Some are just for conversation and game pieces, while others are required for growth in the game. Upon joining the server, you are asked to join a faction. Each faction has a goal: to claim the Codex for themselves. It's still being decided what the Codex will contain as for gameplay, but it's going to have a large benefit to whichever faction controls it. In order to control the Codex, the factions must be strong. Each member has a duty to become strong. To do so, they must enter the dungeons of Sanctum. There are many treasures, events, and things that don't like you down there. The currency in the game is called crystals. You earn these by fighting creatures, finding treasures, gambling, and beating events. With crystals, you can tip the bartender Alexis, pay a scavenger to get loot, buy equipment and armor, and much more. I could go a lot deeper into the design, but that's not the purpose of this video. Now that you have an introduction to the game, I wanted to update you on the progress of it. Mostly my progress, but I'll include the progress of the other devs if I can. When I first heard of the opportunity of working on the project, I offered to work on the map generation. I didn't know how to do image manipulation at the time, so I opted for ASCII map generation instead, basically just text generation. It took me a couple redos, but I finally got a working version of it. I even tested for mobile viewing, and it seemed okay, but that was until another dev pointed out that his phone didn't take it quite so well. We were expecting the audience to be mostly mobile viewers, so that was a big issue. At that point, I'd lost a lot of motivation because of all the work that had just gone to waste, but I decided to give it another go, this time with image manipulation, and do it the right way. I started by using the pure image library for JavaScript. It turned out to be a heck of a lot easier than I expected. I had trouble setting up an algorithm, but I finally worked something out that looked good. The logic was basically that it would draw a staggered line in one direction, and then I had the idea to draw a few others across that to make it look like uneven corridors. The design document for the project included white outlines around the tiles of the map. The library had the functionality of importing other images, so I opted for that. I copied the outline from the design and added transparency, but when I tried to import it into the map, it didn't turn out quite right. I made a GitHub issue asking for the image import transparency, but I decided I needed to work around it because the library was old, and the creator was unlikely to respond very quickly. With that said, I had to create the outline on the fly, so I made a function that same night. I ran into a couple snags with my math, but I finally got it working. I then changed the colors and added some shading to comply with the design document. All in all, I was able to get the map generation working with image manipulation. I toyed with it and added tiles, different colors, shading, and tile outline. That's everything I have for now. I'll update you when I make more progress. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and if you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. Thanks, I'll see you guys tomorrow.